All right, forgive the lack of setup here, but I just moved today, and we have to talk about the worst, scariest, most authoritarian, Trudeau-esque, maybe Aaron O'Toole-esque bill that has ever hit the market, and that's Bill C-36. Okay, so Bill C-36 is like the hate speech bill. It's purely hate speech. Now, good news first about the hate speech bill is I thought they would do it was very obvious a hate speech bill was coming, and I'll explain why, but I thought they would wrap it into something else. My thought was the stuff on, there was terrorism and internet sex crimes, where it's like, yes, we must actually do something about, sexual exploitation of minors on vast webs of pornography and all that, and then throw hate speech into there like terrorism and pornography. It'd be hard to parse out. Then if you said, hey, hate speech, they'd be like, but you're a pedophile. So good news is we have to face this straight up, and we can criticize authoritarianism without being called whatever, you're anti-woman. The bad news is this is the absolute worst case scenario for what a bill could be, and even worse news, it's very likely to pass. Yes, the Liberals have a minority, but do you think the NDP give one iota about civil liberties of hate speech? The Greens? The Bloc? Do you think they care? Do you think the Bloc cares about anything outside of a bridge in Quebec? No. Now, so what is Bill C-36? It is the hate speech law. Now, it's pretty clear that this was coming because of Bill C-10. Bill C-10 was putting internet providers under the guise of the CRTC and the government. So Bill C-10 is essentially the enforcement mechanism for C-36, meaning that if you have these hate speech laws, what Bill C-10 does is saying to the companies like YouTube and Facebook, hey, do you want to be complicit in these different types of things? So we're going to put the onus on you to sort of take down stuff on social media. So C-36 being out there will, basically put the framework that the company, because it's so ubiquitous, right, that the companies would then be afraid of certain things. So pretty much any opinion that isn't super woke can be taken down by YouTube or Facebook, and they can say, well, I'm in fear of the Canadian government. The Canadian government can say, we didn't do it, the companies did it, and everyone can sort of pass around the blame. And then when you start to complain about C-36, but it's like, oh, that's actually C-10 that's doing it, there's a lot of confusion going in, but they work in concert together. Now, what's in C-36? Some of the craziest things you'll ever see. In Canada, if C-36 passes as it stands now, people who commit hate crimes are treated worse, or potential hate crimes. People who commit potential hate crimes, and I'm not talking about hate crimes. People who potentially could commit a hate crime have less civil liberties than rapists and murderers. There is a sense of pre-crime to this bill. You can be put under a peace bond if someone thinks that you're likely to commit hate or is afraid you might hate them. It's insane. People who complain to these human rights tribunals and criminal code, they can be financially rewarded for complaining to you, so there's a financial incentive to complain. Plus, there's also secret complaints, so someone can secretly complain about you. This is ridiculous. So what it's essentially done is it has created a system for operatives of different federal parties to basically destroy their political opponents that aren't part of the mainstream. And the way you would do this is you would have, it's obviously, the most obvious one is the anti-hate network. The anti-hate network would be able to just secretly either have people inside the thing or file multiple complaints, secretly complain about, let's say, Daniel Boardman. Right? Daniel Boardman is likely to create hate against a certain identifiable group. Yes, I do promote hate of people who ask me out for ramen because ramen isn't worth $15. Maybe if there's Japanese ramen worth $3 somewhere, but the people who think that ramen is worth the time and my effort and like $20 to go out and sit down and eat ramen with you, no, and I promote hate towards this identifiable group all the time. Under the new laws, everyone who's like a ramen aficionado, I went to the fancy place, they can put it like more seriously. Right? Muslim Brotherhood operatives can streamline complaints against people and then shut down any complaints of Islamophobia. Right? So right now I'm trying to raise awareness to the fact that the Muslim Association of Canada is getting provincial grants to teach the kids about Islamophobia. And the Muslim Association of Canada is openly declared itself to be aligned with Muslim Brotherhood, has defended one of their flagship mosque, which is inside their head office, for praying to cleanse the Al-Aqsa Mosque from the filth, they say desecration of the Jews, and to slay them one by one, count their numbers, slay them one by one, and spare not one of them. Their excuse was, hey, it was mistranslated. The translation says filth of the Jews. We actually meant Jews are desecrating. Jews desecrate. They're not filthy. They can now streamline complaints against them. And secretly. So, if I were to go under more lawfare nonsense, right, if Aaron O'Toole's friends want to keep piling up the claims against me, the good thing now is I at least know who's complaining against me. I can confront them. I can put together an intelligence file on these people, say, this person, okay, here's all the crazy things you've said in the last 3 years. Here's all the people with ties to terrorism that you've been associated with. Here's the things that you've justified the last 3 years. I can do that now. I at least have a chance at defending myself. Yes, the system's against me, but I can face my accusers, not under C-36. Secret accusations. People can take me out, get a financial reward. You can find it. It wouldn't be out of the norm to find out an NGO like the anti-hate organization puts bounties on different people. Like I could have a $30,000 bounty on my head, as Levant could have a $50,000 bounty. It's ridiculous. Then they can put you under house arrest if they think you're going to commit a hate crime, say hateful things, put someone under hate. Think that you can. If you don't want to, if you refuse, they can put you in jail for up to 12 months, a year in prison. For potential speech, even if it is speech, this is craziness. Absolute craziness. They have the right to test you for bodily fluids, DNA tests to make sure that you're off alcohol. Someone can make the case that you might commit a hate crime, you might promote hate against someone. Secretly, you can not confront them. Your ex-wife, your ex-husband. How many of you out there have a crazy ex-wife or husband? Right? You have a crazy ex-wife or husband. You're pretty politically active. You're out there on Twitter. What's to stop her from saying, this guy hates Muslims, this guy hates Jews, this guy hates Christians? Actually, hating Christians probably gets you money, right? This guy didn't burn down a church. And they're like, he didn't burn down a church? Oh my God, this must be the most hateful man in the world. I mean, this guy, I sentence you to social rehabilitation. You must learn social justice and burn down 16 Catholic churches. Done, right? That could be the new Canada under C-36. Now, that last part a little bit hyperbolic, but you get my point. Pre-crime, DNA testing, peace bonds for secret accusations, bounties. Essentially, the federal government's putting a bounty on the head. Like, they'll pay for your lawyer. This is so streamlined, right? If C-36 passes, if C-36 passes as it is, the only way to fight it is basically fire with fire. The only way to fight it is to secretly come together as conservatives and start complaining about every radical imam that there is, and every far-left activist, and everyone. Just every mosque that has had a prayer of death to these specific people, get 50 people to complain about them, file human rights complaints, put a bounty on that, try to take money, and then until the liberals realize, oh my God, it's going against us. But if you get a lefty judge says, oh, you know what? He did say death to all these people, but social justice reasons, we can't persecute him. That's what you get. So is Canada still Canada after this passes? It's the most terrifying bill out there. And what's more is, why is Aaron O'Toole silent here? Why is Aaron O'Toole silent? Where is Aaron O'Toole? Where is he? Not a word from Aaron O'Toole. Now, is there a reason that Aaron O'Toole might want stronger stronger free speech restrictions in the country? Could it be because he and his people have launched 3 separate lawsuits against me to silence me from exposing his connections to different radical affiliations? Maybe considering Aaron O'Toole loves abusing the legal system as it is to soften it even more, to make it even more authoritarian, might benefit him because he seems to be perfectly okay with people trying to destroy his free speech as is. So why would he ever change? This has got to be a dream for him and Trudeau and Jagmeet. Does Annie Paul even matter anymore? French fries. Pre-crime, actual pre-crime, and now there's stronger. Murderers will have more civil liberties in Canada than hate speakers if this passes, and that is insane. So if you want to support the show, you're going to click the links below, subscribe to whatever buttons, press them, and then, don't burn down churches.